Hi all. Right, finally decided to make the plunge and give Fields of Fire a try. An amazing game I've had for quite some time. Probably got this not long after I started in the hobby as well. It wasn't sort of up there with the first, but it was probably quite close. Really complicated game. Unfortunately, the rulebook's not set out very well. It is, you know, it was able to be understood. I played quite a few games and was quite comfortable that I was getting most things right. You did have to go and look for questions on BGG, and there's lots and lots of threads regarding all the things. And but fortunately, they decided to redo it, redo the rule book, and bring out a deluxe version. Which, okay, it's not out yet. I was intending on just waiting before I tried this, but I've been reading through the third edition rules. I've got a PDF version of that. I haven't printed out, so I'm just going to have to use that from. But I'm going to use that. The old rule book is here. Set aside here. It's very heavy reading. There's not an awful lot of examples. And there were certain things that you were just stuck with. So I'm not even going to show that. I'm hopefully not going to look at that at all. However, everything else is the original stuff, so I don't have the deluxe upgrades yet. So I'm wondering how I'm going to get along with that. But I get the feeling that it's going to be okay. I was able to find. I was looking for other stuff to print out as well. So as well as the rulebook, there was this, and this is the deluxe edition. So I printed this out. Enemy activity check hierarchies. It's just 2 pages. And that's been cleaned up a bit. I know there was some mistakes on this. So I've set the old one of that aside, and I'm going to use them. The printer's not the best. It's starting to get... Well, we've got a new printer, but I've not brought that up here. So I was just using the old one. So I'm going to use that. But everything else is all the old stuff. Now, I think I can get away with... This is a briefing booklet. Number 1, there's 2 briefing booklets. This deals with the Normandy, the World War II stuff, I think, and I think the other one deals with Korea and Vietnam. So I'm just going to use this, and again, I don't know if... I guess you're going to get new ones of these as well. So I know there's some errata to some of these as well. Which I guess I might get hung up a bit on. Now I did print out... There's 2 pages of errata, but these are dated September 2017. But I think these were some of the things that came to mind. That it's just 2 pages, but some of these are pretty straightforward. Is there not one? Yeah, it's just some errata, and my guess is that the new version, the deluxe version, you won't. This will all be dealt with. There's probably pages and pages of errata out there, but so regarding the actual missions, I might get stuck up on that a bit. But any rules, I'm going to be looking at the third edition. Now, I think that is intended. The PDF version is just a draft version of it, so whether it'll get adjusted at all or not, I don't know that either. You would like to think maybe not, or if it is, it's not. It's going to be minor adjustments. So I wanted to give this a try just because I want to play the game. So, and then I thought, well, I might as well hit record and put it out there as well. Whether I might not upload it to BGG and then I might just leave it on my channel rather than do that, because this might be something that I do and then I might want to redo it again in the future when the DOTS version's out. I was itching to play it after reading the rules again and watching a playthrough. It's just an amazing game. I really do. I'm really looking forward to this deluxe version, and hopefully it's just going to take it to the place it should be. This game, really, it really should be. Unfortunately, brilliant design by the designer. He wasn't around a lot to answer all the questions. There was some other guys that were there for a while, and there's other guys that have taken over that position now. And to be honest, if you do ask anything, you'll get a reply from one of the guys. Sorry, I can't recall your names. I've not been really following it heavily, the development and how it's been going. I just know, I know it's going to happen. It's going to come out. So I'm going to just do a recording of this, mainly just because I want to play the game. And you could say, well, why do you need to record that? You're right. I don't, but I found that I quite enjoyed doing that, and it keeps me focused on the game, keeps me going. So I'll do that, and of course you don't need to watch it. It's like I can understand that, and I waffle on a bit as well, so more than a bit. So yeah, that might put you off as well. Now I'm a real stickler for the rules. If any of you watch my other stuff, so that's my biggest important part. I don't mind making stupid moves strategy wise. I want to do things right by the rules. So, but watching back some of the playthrough that I watched, I thought, yeah, I remember all this, and I think I could jump into this and it would be okay. So I'm going to try that. And then I thought about asking a question. If I play it just now using the 3rd edition rules, am I going to lose stuff? Am I going to be missing things that I need? I'm going to be missing some stuff, yeah, but I think I can probably still wing it, just using the original components. Because I had great fun playing the game, without a new set of rules. However, it was just all the questions that piled up on you that kind of got to you. So hopefully we won't have that. Right, I have set up my map for the mission. I'm just going to play the first mission. I suppose I'm going to start the campaign. I'm going to create a log and do all this, and we'll see, so that I can move on to the second mission. And I've only played. I've not tried any of the other theatres like Korea or Vietnam, and I have Field the Fire 2 as well, which I've not even unpunched because I just got that and I thought there's plenty to play here yet, Grant. But I had to get it because I knew it was a game that it's just an amazing game. And when then they talked about this, I thought, wow, this is going to bring it all. I can see myself playing lots of this, really. So and I also got the Bulge expansion as well. Again, I've not even opened it up. I just got it because I thought I need to get it just in case you can't get it anymore. So I got that as well. But I know, kind of boring. I'm just going to go back to the very first campaign, Normandy campaign, and just start with the first mission, which is Trevieres offensive. That's it. This is it here. That's all the information you need. So it's really just these 2 pages tell you what's all. You got your events there, your contacts, your mission details, attachments, fire support available, experience points. And the previous 2 pages, this covers the German force packages for the whole campaign, I believe. Yeah. And this is the actual order battle for the company for the whole campaign, as far as I like to believe. Now, there will be some, I think there is some misprints in here, and I'll check that right I've got, and hopefully we can wing it. Like I say, it would be great if you could download the new versions of these, but you can't. You can only get the rulebook and that 2 pages of the enemy activity hierarchies. At least I couldn't find anything else, so we'll just need to go with that. Right, so, and I've set the map up. So it's the map is 4 columns by 3 rows. Okay, so just look at that first. I'll just chuck that out of the way. And I set this up because I put it under my plexi. Now, it can cause some issues. To be honest, I've only played, I want to say, the first 3 or 4 missions or something. But I kept going back and starting it again, and then I didn't get any further. I mean, and you think, if it's an amazing game, why did you not, Grant? I don't know. It was heavy going because of the rules questions that were coming up. It was heavy going, and I'm hoping that's not going to be the case now. So I set it up under Plexi. Now we know the map can stretch out. You can add cards to either side or round that can happen, and obviously with plexi that makes it a bit awkward. I've left a space at the side here between this. I'll show you this in a sec. At the side here, so that we could add another card in there if need be, if we find any enemies out there. There's a space up the top as well, and then down the right hand side. For some of the bigger maps, I'm going to have to make more space. And to be honest, this is the smallest map you're going to get, and it's 4 columns and 3 rows in each column. So it's not an awful lot. I've left quite a bit of space in between the cards because, yeah, to be honest, I probably don't need that much space, do I? Do I think I could tighten that up a bit? Probably could, because I left the space because you're going to get PDF markers in between. But I mean, I don't need all that space, do I? Let's see if I can tighten it up a bit, and then because I should be able to get it all in the camera, and I'm struggling there. So let me try and alter things a little bit. Right, okay, I think that's a bit better now. I think I was a bit too spacey. I mean, as long as you've got, I just like, you're going to get PDF markers in between. So I wanted a little space for that. Yeah, so rather than me sort of dealing the cards out while I was recording, I just done that up front. Now these are the staging area cards. I'm not going to explain all the rules to this game or anything like that. I'll play along. There's plenty of other videos out there to teach you. This is me just wanting to play the game. Obviously, I'm going to say, when I'm doing things, I'm going to sort of explain, just in case. And I probably will dip more into it, like sort of explain a bit more when things come about. However, I'm not going to go deeply into it, shall we say. So these staging area cards where our units are going to start, our platoons, etc. It does say that you're not meant to use the same terrain cards for your theatre, the Normandy terrain cards. But I think every playthrough I've seen, I think everybody just uses 4 of the cards, or if it's 5 columns, then a 5th one. There's loads of terrain cards. I mean, look, that's what's left out of what we've used, or what we've used to set our map up. And it's likely we might use maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 of these extra and max. So you're not going to run out of them. So using 4 of these is fine. And it does say in the rules, though, that you're meant to use ones from either Korea or Vietnam to set this up. But I don't think anybody else has been bothered with that. So I've set up my rows and columns. You'll see we ended up with a double hill up here. So it's a big 2 hills and a gully draw on top. So this is kind of raised up on the last row there. So we got a woods, hedgerow, bocage, cemetery, hedgerow, bocage, village, woods, hedgerow, bocage, village, orchard grove, or hedgerow, bocage, and there's a farm up there, gully draw. Like I say, on a double hill. So that's like 2 levels up, isn't it? Or do we start, is it level 1 we're at, and that would be level 3 then? I'm not sure. Okay, a lot of things like that are going to be, suffice to say, like it's 2 levels above the rest of the cards. Anyway, so I don't think that should. Right, and there's a command display that we've got, and I need that. I'm not going to use that. I don't think I'm going to use that, because that's what these other the other charts are for on the other side. But I'll put the assets on here, and obviously this is casualties, evacuated prisoners, units eliminated. So we will use that for that, but I don't think I'm going to use that. Oh, maybe for the turns. Yeah, possibly for the turn marker, because there's 10 turns, isn't there? I think. Yeah, so I might use that for that. But this was on, I must have got off of BGG. Now the colour's ghastly, I know, and I don't think it should be that colour. I think my printer at the time was having issues. So that's why it's kind of horrible colour. But I don't know if they might have different things when it comes to the Docs edition of this. If not, I seem to recall this being useful anyway. So we've got up top, so activated HQs, completed activation HQs. So you put the marker on there when you've completed your activation, no save command HQs. And then for the actual, you've got allocated, what you've got allocated, and then what you've got saved there. I think we'll see it, and once it starts working, we'll see. I can't remember exactly how you use it. These are, it tells you there's an index down the bottom, so it tells you what these are for. I mean, that's for all limited visibility. You can only have 4, and that's all day, is it? Daytime. Yeah, so at night you would have that. I'm guessing limited visibility is at that. So maximum's 4, whereas normally you would have 6. And these are all how many you can save. If you're only green limited visibility, you can only save 2. These are all in the rules. It's just somebody's created this to make it, and he's marked them there to remind you not to try and save more than you're allowed, etc., or use more than you're allowed. So I found them quite useful. Like I say, I think it will come back to me once I start moving the markers about on them. So that's that set up. So just thought I'd show you that first. Now, there's lots more stuff to set up and do yet. My guess is this part will just be the introduction to it. And just getting everything set up, and then I'm hoping I might still have time to start today. If not, like I say, I've still got this is Saturday night, so I've still got a few days off, so I should be able to get back and get it started and that, because I'm keen to get things moving. So I'll pause just now and see where I'm at. I'll need to get some counters together. I've got, I'm hoping the box that they bring along might have space to put everything else in. I mean, these are the counters I've got for, I think they're all for Korea and Vietnam, these ones. I mean, that's one of these big, deep boxes that I got. But I mean, clearly these don't fit in the box. These are set aside. These are the ones that we'll be using. So I think I'll be using all of this. And we've got our VF markers. But I'll see also there's the German units in there. So there's got a wee separate box for them. So there's loads of stuff involved here. I don't think I should need this one. It does look like it's got ammo in here, but out of ammo markers might need to use them. But yeah, I don't think I'll be needing this box at all. Maybe apart from the out of ammo markers, but I might have some of them in another box, because I was using tracking ammo on the actual mission log thing. I found, rather than have another counter on the map to clog things up. So I think I might be putting that box out of the way just now anyway. Right, I'll get some stuff out and we'll get things set up. Right, okay, getting set up, not quite there yet, but there's quite a bit to sort of look out. I've set up my company roster, and this is the attachment side. This is the mission log. I'll get to the other side first. So just this side basically has the pyro signals. There's probably too many of these in the first mission. I was going to change it, but I've actually copied, just pretty much copied a previous mission that I had with the same stuff. The impression I go, without looking more into it, the two pyro signals that you want are ceasefire and shift fire. I don't think there's anything there of great use in this mission. That's what I found at the time, I think. And now I could have some of this wrong, but I've just messed everything about there. How did that happen? So I'm going to just stick with these, but we don't need them all. You know, that's red smoke, yellow smoke, purple smoke, green smoke. You get one of each of them. You get 4 of the HC. Can't remember that one. This one's white phosphorus, isn't it? You get 4 of them. You get 4 of them, but they don't signal anything. They're just smoke. They've got different capabilities. We don't have any illumination stuff because it's not night. And you've got red star parachute, green star parachute, red star cluster, green star cluster. They're ones that can fire into adjacent hexes, aren't they? Or no, they just fire up in the air, aren't it? Whereas the smoke stays on the card. Anyway, I've got ceasefires and shift fires attached to a bunch of them. Now, I've spread them about amongst these are the assets for the CO HQ, the COXO, first sergeant, first platoon HQ, second platoon HQ, third platoon HQ. With the smokes, they've all got one smoke and one white phosphorus. I've given the other ones to HQ. And then I'm going to use radios rather than phones. I think they're probably a bit easier. I've tried it with both, I think. I seem to remember playing with the phones. So each one, what is it? The CO starts with CO TAC network SCR 536. He also has a battalion TAC because he needs to communicate with the battalion. And he has one of these to communicate with the rest of his company. The first platoon HQ, second platoon HQ, and third platoon HQ all have they're all on the network. Now this I can't find. There's 6 of these, and I can only find 5. So the COXO has a CO TAC net as well. So this should be the same as that. It should be an SCR 536. So it's not that he's in and got in special. I've just put that there because I can't find the 6th one. I don't know. Maybe I'll come across it. It wasn't where the rest of them were. And then the other thing, you might say, well, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 there. So you're saying there's one missing. Well, there's the other one. Now that goes to the mortar section. So I'll put that on the map with the mortar section. You could put these on the map with them, but the map gets cluttered enough. So we'll just leave them out here. There's a game turn marker. It's 10 turns, so obviously once you get a 9, then the last turn, and that's that. Might as well look at that. This is the RA forward observer who's attached to second platoon. Now I've just set these out again the same. His line experience. So I'm just showing you this because this is the only other thing on this side. Once enemy units come along, we'll put their information in there. And track that. So that's everything from that side. And it tells you all there, there's what assets that you get, all the smoke, phone lines if you're using them, we're not. We get 3 rifle grenades, 1 for each. They've got to be between each platoon. There's a Jeep as well, which I'll probably not use. I think I tried using it once as well, but there is a Jeep anyway. And then we'll go into the information of the actual the platoons, etc. Right, okay, that was a bit crazy. I was struggling to find counters. They must have jumped about a bit in the tray. So I did come across the other radio though, so I put that in. So and then I was missing a rifle grenade. I found that eventually. However, the third bazooka team, 1, 2, this should be 3AT. I can't find that counter at all. I've picked this because it's got the same SG, S with a wee G, superscript, exclamation mark, and C. Hopefully I can ignore that A. Hopefully I'll know what it is. So we've got our COHQ, COXO, CO First Sergeant. You can see they're all their experience is green for the COHQ, green for the COXO, and our only veteran unit is the company First Sergeant, who's veteran. I'll get to that in a minute. And then you've got the 3 platoons. Each one of the platoon have assigned the rifle grenade to the second squad of each platoon. So you got first platoon 1, 2, and 3, and then and then these are our what are these called? These aren't part of our company. These are sort of additions that we get, aren't they? There's a name to call them. I can't remember what it is, but it just says weapons section, weapons platoons. So these are all line quality. And going back to the platoons, the headquarters unit is green and the squads are all line. Line being the sort of normal, green is the lower and veterans the higher one. So these are all line quality. And we have the 50 cal machine gun, which you see I'm assigning to the first sergeant. We've got 1, 2 machine guns. I'm assigning 1 to first platoon, 2 to second platoon, and then we've got 3 bazookas. Like I say that, hopefully I'll find it at some point. We've got 1 of them for each platoon. And then the mortar section, which I've assigned to 3rd platoon. Now, I think he gets... Does he not get that with him? And that radio, I want to say. I've got an RAFO here as well, though. I'm pretty sure that gets used. Yeah. Right, okay, I'll probably work that out. So that's all our company there. And I mean, all that information comes from here. It's all from here. There's a couple of misprints in here, which I'll not go into. And tells you about the radios, and obviously if you were using phone lines, you could switch them out for them. And and that is our order battle. So let's move on. Right, so there's the counters on this track. I'm not quite sure how I set these out. I'll get used to it once it goes, because this says no saved commands. This says completed activation HQs. And this says activated HQs. I can't remember how I went about doing it. I'm sure it'll come to me. Because, I mean, once I activate the COHQ, I'll flip him over like that, and I suppose you could then put him up there saying he's activated. Then you draw a card to see how many commands he gets. You come down here, and let's just say he gets 4 commands. You go down there, let's just say we use 2 of the commands, and we decide to save the other 2. So he finishes, comes down there, and then ends like that with 2 commands saved. And I think it'll be something like that. I'm not quite sure I'll be using that. I think this was maybe made... Originally, I think the game had saved. They had a counter that said saved commands on it. And I think... I don't think I got them. So I think it was maybe... because I got... Then I'll get the second print of it. I think the original edition had that. I didn't get them. So maybe that's what they were for. Because you would put your saved counter there and then put that counter up there, basically. But they done away with the save commands because you don't really need it. You can use this same counter to do that. So, I'll work it out anyway. It's, as long as I'm keeping track of... Right, I think I just hit stop there. Or are you sure, Grant? Did you hit stop sooner and just noticed it now? I think I did. I think I was recording there. Hopefully I did, or I've made a bit of a mess of things. Well, if I did do it recently, then there's a view of how I'm going to operate things. But I'm pretty sure that was okay. Right, so now we've got our companies. We've got all our radios. These are the battalion HQ units. There's 3 different ones of these that an event can maybe bring them into play. So I'll just leave them off to the side. In fact, I could have probably left them in the cup. So I'm not saying it's unlikely they'll come. They might come into play, but right. Let's get our stuff set up on the staging area, ready to go with this mission. There's not really any sort of story to start off with here, I don't think. I mean, this is... I thought I might have told you something about it. We're in Normandy campaign. Hang on. We can see the date and when it happened and whatever, I suppose. Normandy, France, June 8th through August the 16th. So that's this whole campaign. And this is... like I say, that's order of battle, so that's going to stay through the campaign. However, you will get... there might be some additions come along. Like for this first mission, which is Trevieres Offensive, June the 8th to the 10th, first battle with the German army. This is when they first, came off the beaches, I guess. And then our attachment is an RA forward observer. Yeah, so I do need that. In fact, who's that attached to then? Right, I don't know. Oh yeah, it's on the other side of the page. Right, I'll find out because I've got all the counters lying on it, and then I can attach it to that company, that platoon or whatever it is. And then these are the fire supports. Battalion fire missions are not available for artillery fire missions. We've got 4 of the, that's high explosives, I think. We've got a white phosphorus mission as well. We've got 1 fire mission of that. But we've got 4 of the ones that do the damage, really. And yeah, that's it. There's the friendly higher HQ events. Oops. There's the enemy higher HQ events. This is the stuff we'll look at regarding when we get the contacts and whatever. Counter-attacks. Well, we hope we don't see that. It's a horrible event that can really lead you from winning the mission to like losing the mission. It's been, I think it's been talked about quite a lot. It can be quite brutal, and like I say, take you from a winning position to a losing position. Because if it happens that late in the rounds like 8 or 9 or even 10, I think it can cause major sort of failures. But anyway, hopefully that won't happen. Right, let's get the staging area set up. Right, okay, that's me set up. Now, there's no guarantees I'm not going to make blunders here. It's been a long time since I played this, and I'm going to try and just wing it a little bit. I'm not saying I'm not going to look up rules, but just watching back the sort of playthrough that I watched, I thought, I remember all this. I remember how it works, but I could get a bit lax there and possibly blunder my way into things. But and when something comes up and do need to look up, I will look up in the rules. But I suppose that there could be a time where I might just try and do something without looking a rule up and then make a mess of things. So that's we've got 2nd platoon pretty much here. This is where artillery forward advisor is. I put his radio underneath the actual counter. So that's 1st, 2nd, 3rd of 2nd platoon. 2nd light machine, 2 light machine gun and the bazooka. I've got the COHQ and the COXO here with 1st platoon. They've got and remember these are the units that have got the rifle grenade. I've just picked the 2nd of each platoon. Each squad of the platoons. He's got a light machine gun and a bazooka. This is where the 1st sergeant is. Now he's got the 50 cal machine gun attached to him. 3rd platoon's in here. This is the bazooka. So it's 3. It should be 380. It's 3rd bazooka. So hopefully remember. They've got the mortar section and he's got a radio as well. Don't use that mortar forward advisor. After I came across that and I thought, that's just for calling in mortars from off map. This is an actual mortar that we have. And I think when you're playing this, you can split this mortar section into 3 smaller sort of squads or whatever. Again, this is the guy that's got the rifle grenade. I've just chucked the Jeep in here, but I very much doubt I'll use it. I think this is where the line of departure is, because this is our staging area. So this is and nothing can really touch us in here, and we can't fire from here either, so we need to move forward. Our boundaries are there and there. We cannot move. Now, cards might appear here with enemies on them. We cannot move to the right of this or the left of this, but enemies could appear and shoot at us. We can shoot back, but we can't move in beyond that line. And this is our limit of advance. Now, we now need to... Is that a bit glary? No, it's just the cards, isn't it? Yeah, it's fine. We now need to set our primary objective and our secondary objective. And there's something missing as well, isn't there? There's another one, isn't there? Hang on. Yeah, I think I started reading the heading of that, and this is the bit I probably should have read out. This is the mission details. So it's an offensive mission. It lasts 10 turns. It's daylight plus 0. I'll show you that in a second. 4 columns by 3 rows. We've got that set up. You enter from staging area below row 1. You may attempt this mission a total of 2 times. Hopefully we won't need that. You occupy and clear of enemy forces the primary and secondary objectives, and clear rows 1 and 2 of any enemy forces. And then initial placement says place the primary and secondary objectives on any card of your choice in row 3. Place an attack position on any card of your choice in row 2, adjacent to either the primary or secondary objectives. Historical opponent is the 352nd Division of the 90th Brigade. 352nd Division, 90th Brigade. Yeah, okay. Right, so we've got to set a primary and secondary objective and an attack position. So the primary and secondary objective have to go in the last row up here. This farm, good chance of better cover in that farm. So probably going to set the primary objective there, and why don't we just have the secondary objective there then? Yeah, probably should have set up things slightly different. Nah, it doesn't matter. Because we've got to clear both the first and second row, this row and this row. And is that right? Occupy and clear of enemy forces the primary and secondary objectives, and clear rows 1 and 2 of any enemy forces. And clear just means, there's no enemy forces on it, I think. There's definitions for that as well. Well, there's different ways of a card being clear, and then there's different definitions for other things, occupied, and there's another one that's, anyway. So 1 and 2, now we then need our attack position, which I'm not sure is, where have I put it? I've not found it, that's the thing. I'm not sure if it's, this could be one that maybe you can assign a pyrotechnic to, maybe. I seem to recall not really understand. I can't remember. There's obviously a reason for it. Right, hang on till I find the counter. Right, so the attack position goes adjacent to one of these on row 2. So I'll put it in the village here, I think. That makes... I think that makes more sense. Because... I don't know, I can't remember the purpose. Well, you've got it open just now. What is the purpose of the attack position? The attack position is your last covered and concealed position before you reach an objective. Players generally have some leeway in placing objective in attack position, TCMs, but must adhere to any restrictions in the mission instructions. Anything that I'm reading out of this is the rules, the 3rd edition. So, tip, it is best to designate an attack position that is adjacent to both objectives, and if possible, you should place the objective TCMs on cards with high cover and concealment ratings so that you can defend them relatively easy once you occupy them. Yeah, in particular if you get a counter-attack and you've taken the farm and taken your primary objective, everyone's good. I'm not so sure I still understand the purpose of the attack position, but maybe we'll find out, or maybe somebody will tell me. Anyway, that's that set. What else do we need to know? Up top corner there, I'm just putting them up there. That's our activity level, is it? No contact, it starts. The daylight is 0, so no issues there with any modifiers regarding, that come from the night time or There's different levels, I think, at night as well. You get the moon and whatever. But we've none of that. It's just a daylight mission. We start on no contact, and that'll determine certain things as well. And then once there is contact, we'll have contact, and then we'll have engaged. And then I think the other side of that is heavily engaged, isn't it? Yeah, heavily engaged. So there's 4 different states that you can be in. Throughout, okay, so not quite ready to start. We need to okay, hang on. Right, okay, it looks like I press stop again. I just hate where the zoom's right beside the button that pauses and stops, and I keep clicking it, and it's made a mess so much previously. I keep saying I'm going to maybe look for a different app, or maybe see if I can move things about. It's quite possible. It's just fitting the time in to do that when you're doing other things. So just quick look at this. Mission 1, enemy information. Mission details. So these are relevant to how the enemy sort of works. So the hierarchy is defensive, tactics are deliberate, experience is line, cover marker are trenches. So that's the basic sort of thing. All the units, all the enemies going to be a line. There's a different sets of ammo for any of these that appear. The spotter information if they get a mortar spotter or artillery spotter. And here's the potential contacts. So we set them up. That's why I need to look at that, because we've not set them up yet. So on row 1, we don't randomise any of them. So on row 1, we set up with the letter side up. Yeah, so it's not like... it's got the letter side up. On row 1, we've set up C's. On row 2, it's A's. And on row 3, it's B's. So I'm going to go and do that now. Right, okay. Looks like I wasn't recording there, so I don't know if I'm... Probably going to have to look back on this and see. It's a pain, this, honestly. That button. Well, I think I was just explaining that I've set up my potential contacts. C on this row, A on that row, B on that row. C's are less likely, but A's are the sort of top, more likely contacts, then B's, then C's. So the first ones we're going to encounter are C's, but because we're at no contact, there's a higher chance of finding somebody here. And yeah, in actual fact, I can remember wee sort of tricks about how to do it. Well, no, I can't remember them. I remember in the back of my mind, I remember things that are quite good to do before you then move on, because they all get resolved randomly when you're moving on to them, and it can work out. And maybe I'll start working things out like that as I move on. It's been a long time since I played it, but just always remember it as being an amazing game. And we've got our action deck just waiting here. This is what runs everything. Not sure how many cards are on that, but there's a good, I don't know, 60 plus probably. I'm sure it tells you in the thing. But anyway, I've shuffled all that up, and we're good to go. So I will cut this just now, because and try and patch this video together, and hopefully it's okay, because there's a couple of occasions there where I wondered about if I had been recording, so it might be a complete shambles. I might have to redo it. If I do, I'll not be going through all this again. It's quite a lot of setup involved here. There is quite a bit to take care of. But however, that's that bit done, and we can get down to things now. And you'll start seeing. Well, if any of you haven't seen how this works, I just think it's impressive. I really do. Just watching back on the bit of playthrough I was watching, I thought, yeah, it's just so good. Yeah. Okay, I'll copy this across, but I hope to come. To be honest, I do need to do a few things, but I'm hoping to get a bit in tonight anyway. So I might be back. Well, no matter. I'll be back when I'm back. Okay, right. Okay, cheers.